All right, guys, continuing forward. So this week is going to be top 5 movements I believe I should be programming more often in class. So last week was top 5 movements I don't program as much and why. So again, what I call this channel Right On with Dan, since we've kind of graduated past the devil's details and are going on to other topics, I have like the next 3 topics in mind of what I want to do. I was thinking to myself on the order of them, but that one you guys seem to find interesting, and it helped me create this list as well right away. So I thought it was natural to head into it. And saying that, so these are the top 5 movements that I don't think I program as much as I should, and good timing for this because these will be good goals for me in 2025. And going back to 2023, my goals for this year was to get better at programming just couplets and triplets. I think I've done that, and so I can kind of speak it into reality, talk to you guys about that. These are going to be my goals at getting better at least some of them from a programming perspective for 2026, and I can make that happen. And I do believe, guys, you know, I'm kind of a believer in everything is my fault, that I control everything. And what do I mean by that? So whether I have a good day or not, I believe that to be my fault, or that I control it. I control whether it was a good day or not. I can't control if there was a lot of traffic. I can't control if I had to stand in a long line or wait on hold. I can decide if that affects my day, if it makes me have a bad day or not. We don't control everything in the world, but I definitely controlled my own actions in response to everything. So I control how much time I spend on Instagram. I control whether I eat the cookie or not. I control if I do enough rehab for this old beat up body or not. These are all things within my control. And so having said that, I can control if I program these movements enough or not. So that was a little bit of a tangent right at the beginning. Let's get into it. Number 5. So we're going to go from 5 to 1 on this list. Back squats. Okay, so back squats. Do I mean this that I don't program it enough from a Metcon or a strength perspective? And I would say my answer would be yes, but. So what I mean by that is yes, a little bit of both. And when I think of like, do I program it enough? I'm thinking in the terms of a year. In any given month or week, that may or may not be the focus, but over a year, are these movements getting adequate attention for all of us? I think from a strength perspective, I give it adequate attention. We do enough back squatting. I think we could do more, and I plan on doing more in 2026 as we go forward, but I think we get enough. But specifically, it's in Metcons. And why? Okay, think of overhead squats. There's a lot of classic CrossFit overhead squat workouts, and the weights and rep ranges have kind of been decided a lot. How many reps you'll tend to do with 75 or 55 pounds. How many reps you'll tend to do with 95, 65. How many reps you'd tend to do with 135 or 95 on an overhead squat. There's not a lot of that with back squat. And so if I'm trying to set a workout and I'm trying to decide the reps and how many rounds, how many reps to do, and what's the RX weight, what's the plus weight, what are the scaled weights, it's hard for me to find weights I'm happy with and feel comfortable with. That's a good weight for this number of rounds and reps with back squats. And so I tend not to do it enough. Now, going back to my very first point on this, I control whether I figure this out or not. And this is something I need to figure out. And I don't think this is just my problem. I think this is why you don't see a lot of classic CrossFit workouts out there in the CrossFit world, including back squats, because I think it is a hard movement to work into Metcons, but I think it should be worked in more often, and we would all be more fit for it if we do. So that's number 5 on the list. Number 4, burpee box jumps and burpee box jump overs. I'm sure all you guys are very sad that I don't program that as much as I think I should. But let's be honest. So this one, there's no complicated reason as to why I don't, other than I don't really like doing them, and I am saying that out loud to you guys, so I know that's the reason, so I need to fix it. I have never been the most elastic person. I've been more elastic in my youth, and the bounciness of going over and back over the box, at best, I am slow, and that's when I start a workout, and it doesn't get faster. But if we want to talk about, CrossFit talks about functional movements. being movements that move large loads over long distance and do so quickly. That is a burpee box jump over, or a burpee box jump, either way. You are on the ground, then you are up on the box, and then you are back on the ground again. Moving your load, your body weight, through that long distance, some of us quicker than others, but it is the ultimate in a functional movement, and you guys know this. There's a lot of really good CrossFit movements that work the whole body and work the engine and that we dread. This is as good as any of those. This is right there in that list of the top movements that do that. We all know how exhausting these are, and that's exactly why we should be doing them. It is a great full body and engine work. When we talk about the 10 general physical skills, I'm not going to go through them all now, but it hits a lot of them in this movement. And great movement to help you get better for the open, which is coming up down the road. So something I need to make sure we all suffer through together. So burpee box jumps and burpee box jump overs. I know, maybe a gray area, 2 moves, but it's kind of one. That'll be number 4. Number 3, chest to bar pull-ups. So this is similar to back squats in the sense that, but not as in a general world sense, in a more specific problem for me with our community, with King William District CrossFit. When I'm programming, I am thinking of you guys, of our group of people. And there are certain trends and unique things about our community that are just, that would be about any CrossFit community. They're, in a general sense, that all humans need the same things to become more fit, the same basic needs. But in any group, there may be, this group might be enlarged, be better at running, or this group by and large might be better at pushing, and this group might happen to be better at pulling. A lot of happenstance, who knows what goes into it. So with chest to bar pull-ups, when I'm working that into a workout, I usually want it to be a part of a metabolic conditioning piece. And what I mean by that is I want it to be your cardio conditioning and your stamina. And as we've gone over, stamina back in the day, often misunderstood. I want those two to be the limiting factor. Not so much strength like in a handstand push-up where you're just standing around because you can't get your chest to the bar anymore. And so I struggle with, personally, programming for us, the right rep ranges and sets that will allow most of us to use this as a metabolic conditioning piece and not be standing around so much that, you know, your heart rate's going down and you're not getting your engine worked like I want to. And I program a classic CrossFit workout, and we're going to do, you know, weightlifting, gymnastic, and monostructural. So I have my monostructural piece. Maybe it's running. I have my weightlifting piece. Maybe it's squat cleans. And then I have my gymnastic piece. That's where I would plug in chest to bar pull-ups. And I just find at times I struggle with making a workout where it will have that metabolic conditioning effect. I think today's, for the RX Plus on the sweaty option, worked out pretty good on that. And you can still do singles on chest to bar, and if you're disciplined and will go fast, jump back up and hit that chest to bar pull-up, it can still have that metabolic conditioning effect. That is one of my go-to strategies in the open when I'm trying to get the best score possible, is to do quick singles. That works for some and not others, but it can still be a effect. I was trying today, personally, to string them together as much as possible, even if it didn't let me get the best score possible, because I'm trying to work that stamina of still having that strength to get those last couple inches to get the chest to the bar. So that's something I plan on getting better at in 2025, is finding those right rep ranges and sets that let us in general practice this movement and get better at it. Number 2, almost to number 1, hang squat cleans. All right, guys, so a little secret on this one. If I asked you guys, what's Dan's favorite movement? I think you guys would probably guess deadlift, and you would be right. However, back in the day, this may not be well known, but not even that long ago, I would say, so I'm 50 now, anywhere from mid-30s all the way up into maybe 42, 43. I would have said squat cleans and hang squat cleans were my favorite movement. I loved the feeling of popping that bar up, dropping underneath it, and you catch it and you're at the bottom of that squat and you know you have it. I just found that so satisfying because it's something I had to work at to be good at, and I got pretty good at it. And I loved them. I love being able to just rep out squat cleans in a workout. They're exhausting to do, but in a workout like Elizabeth, just being able to rep them out, I found very satisfying. And I'm going to be honest, like today, right now, I don't even know that I could do a hang squat clean. My knees have been a little stiff lately. I do have arthritis in my knees, and they will get back. I'm not conceding defeat, but it's hard for me to get, I can't right now get that bounciness and get into a squat. So you guys are serving as my therapist, and this is being cathartic for me to confess this to the world, that I may be a little personally sore about the fact that I cannot do these, one of my favorite movements, as well as I used to. So maybe I'm not programming them, so I have to look at the fact that that's what the workout is today, and I may have to scale or adjust that movement, and I need to. I'm not saying I'll never get them, but you guys may remember in one of the first Devil's Details, I mentioned that my goal was to get ring muscle-ups again. I have not done that yet, but I am so close. So close. I would say I'm closer to getting a ring muscle-up than I am to being able to do a hang squat clean right now, because the muscle-up is just a technique thing. I'm out of practice. I got to get the timing down again on the muscle-up. This is a little bit of a structural issue that it's going to take a lot of work for me to get back. I will be working on it and trying, but we'll see what happens there. So it is my personal inadequacies that are preventing you guys from getting better at it. And just a quick side note on this too, I love the hang squat clean specifically because it's time under tension. The weight just sits on you. And I love movements that just sit on you when we're doing shoulder to overheads, or thrusters and front squats where the weight never touches the ground. So even as you're going through the whole range of motion and going into the next rep, the weight is just sitting on your body. Those movements are in particular exhausting, and I love them for that reason, because they're very useful. They make us more fit. So more hang squat cleans coming down the road now that I've had a chance to get that off my chest. Last but not least, guys, thrusters. And one of the original CrossFit movements, if there are movements CrossFit kind of invented, or at least brought to the world in a sense, I think we would say it's probably thrusters, maybe the kipping pull-up as well, but thrusters are it. And again, going back to moving large loads over long distance and doing so quickly, that's why we all hate thrusters, because they are a great full body movement that works your strength, your work capacity, your engine, all of it. I love it. I have never, as opposed to the hang squat clean, I've never been great at thrusters. I've been better and worse at times, but it's not a movement that has come to me naturally. But it is such a powerful tool to use in a workout. And that is the issue for me, is that I tend to, when I put thrusters into a workout, especially if it's going to be hard, which they usually are, it ends up affecting the whole week. There's always a workout I have to model the whole week around, because the implications of that workout have such wide-reaching effects. And we guys know, if I went back to the very first Devil's Details, I start programming weeks with the strength movement, and I do. But I need to be disciplined with, if I'm doing that, in order to get thrusters in, I need to know that's the second workout I'm going to program for the week. That I'm going to program thrusters, and so I've got those 2 points, and I will make then everything else fit around it. Because if I wait and try and fit thrusters in the third or fourth workout, they just don't fit a lot of times in the week, because I think of all the effects it has on the body. So those are the top 5 movements that I should program more often. You guys can let me know if you agree, if you disagree, if I'll never see you in class when I program Burpee Box Jump overs. Hope that not to be the case. I'll miss you. Right on, guys. Thanks.